They say love is blind, but what if you're ignoring signs that the person right next to you isn't meant to stay? We often mistake intensity for intimacy, butterflies for connection. But real love, it's not about fireworks. It's about showing up day after day in the quiet moments when the spark fades and the real work begins. So, how do you know if you're clinging to a connection that's no longer serving you? We're diving deep into the often overlooked signs that a relationship might be headed for heartbreak. Get ready to face some uncomfortable truths, because sometimes the most loving act we can give ourselves is walking away from what's no longer meant for us. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Just because you have chemistry doesn't mean it'll last. Psychologists call it limerence, a state of obsessive infatuation. It mimics love but isn't sustainable. Limerence is that intoxicating rush of early love, the late-night texts, the constant need for reassurance, the feeling that this person is the only one who understands you. But here's the hard truth. Limerence thrives on uncertainty. It's fueled by the chase, the unknown. And while it can be exhilarating, mistaking it for lasting love sets us up for disappointment. True love isn't built on fleeting highs. It's built on the steady ground of trust, respect, and shared values. So ask yourself, are you truly drawn to this person, or are you addicted to the chaos of limerence? Second, if one person is always the fixer, it's not love, it's emotional exhaustion. We've all been there, putting in more effort, making excuses for their behavior, constantly trying to smooth over the cracks. You find yourself carrying the weight of the relationship on your shoulders, always the one to apologize, to explain, to make things right. But healthy love isn't one person constantly explaining, apologizing, or walking on eggshells. It's about two whole individuals showing up with their full selves, ready to share the load. If you feel more like a therapist than a partner, it's a sign of imbalance that eventually breaks. You deserve someone who meets you in the middle, who's willing to put in the same amount of effort. Chapter 3. The absence of curiosity. Here's a subtle one. They stop being curious about you. At the beginning, every date felt like an adventure, every conversation a chance to uncover something new. You couldn't get enough of each other, exploring dreams, fears, and everything in between. But as time goes on, that curiosity fades. The questions dry up, the conversations become shallow. No questions about your day, no interest in your thoughts. When the desire to know you fades, so does the emotional glue. Chapter 4. Micro disrespect, soft breakers. Not all breakups start with a fight. Sometimes they unfold slowly, silently, like cracks appearing in a foundation. We often think of deal breakers as grand gestures of betrayal, but the truth is, they often show up in the small, everyday moments. Micro disrespect is like water slowly corroding a rock. They belittle your goals, laugh when you're serious, ignore your boundaries. It's in the eye rolls, the dismissive comments, the subtle ways they make you feel small. These aren't quirks, they're soft breakers, and over time, they erode love without a single blow-up. Chapter 5. Conflict-style mismatch. When you argue, do you feel heard or just hurt? Disagreements are inevitable in any relationship, but it's not about avoiding conflict. It's about how you navigate it. Because how we fight reveals more about our compatibility than how often we fight. John Gottman, a leading relationship psychologist, found that how couples fight is more predictive of a breakup than how often they fight. Stonewalling, mocking, avoiding hard conversations. These habits don't just cause stress, they kill emotional safety. Healthy conflict resolution requires empathy, active listening, and a willingness to understand each other's perspectives. Sometimes we stay because we're afraid to leave, because the comfort of familiar pain feels safer than the unknown. But here's the truth. Your future self will thank you for walking away sooner. Not every relationship is meant to last, but every lesson is meant to evolve you. Text on screen. Like, subscribe, share with someone who needs this.